Good morning. It's Friday, March 3rd, 2023, and it's about 8:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, market kind of midday, a little past midday, the market just shot up, and then today again it went up, and overnight trading it went up too, and it's back into this balance area. So there might be some people out there confused about what's going on here because I had talked about this market going down. Well, the market, like I said, doesn't go straight down. It takes a while to go down there. If you look at this box here, this balance area, you can see how the market, if you disregard all this here, the market came down and it looked like it was about to break down and it went back up and hit this top, and finally it came down. It does that in different. Let's see where if I can find another one. Let's see, move this over. It looks like it did the same thing here. It was market is in a downtrend, and it looks like it broke down, but then it came back up and then finally broke down. So, I mean, that's what markets do. They do that. So, as far as making money with this kind of situation, you trade, like I said before, if you purchase put options here. Okay, so let's say you bought some longer term and the market steps down into here. It's going to step down and it's going to break down, but it's going to take some time. So in this type of trading, longer term trading, you have to be patient. Sometimes the markets come down and it looks like you're gaining some value in your options, and it pops back up and then you lose all that value that you've gained from here to here. But the way these markets work, like I said, they don't go straight down, so they come down and come up, and then they'll come back down. This market right now is at its top of this. Doesn't have, I mean, where else is it going to go? It's not going to go up in here. I mean, it could, but more likely, it's not even midday and the market's here. I would assume from this point on, it's going to start heading down into next week. And it might even head down pretty big because this is starting to get stretched out, this timeline between here and here. And I look at these timelines, right in here, and timelines, and starting to get stretched out. So if this thing were to come back up in here and continue and go into a bull market, well, then that would make sense. But if you still believe this is a bear market like I do, then this is the end of that bull run here, and now it's starting to come down. Bear market rally, they call it, and now it's starting to come down. Now it doesn't last too long. If you notice, when they start popping up like this one did, only lasted a few days before it came down. And same thing with this one here. When it popped back down and came back up, only a few days, and then it continued down. So we're really close to breaking down into this area. Like I said, of course, if it goes up and then we're back into that bull market, then, of course, that doesn't apply. But the odds are that it's not going to happen. It's just going to continue down. And because of this timeline here, and it's getting stretched out, it's time for it to start coming down. So as far as making money doing this, because this could be all fancy talking about where the market's going, but how do you actually make money? So when you buy put options, let's say you bought up here and the market started coming down, and if you have put options that are starting to get maybe close to expiration, maybe a month away, as the market starts coming down, you can roll them over to the next month. So the best time to do that is when the market starts heading down, maybe even down in this area, and you roll them over, and even if the market were to continue down, you're not going to lose very much because you're going to roll them over pretty fast. And yeah, you're going to lose some value by rolling them over because, like I mentioned before, as soon as you buy an option, unless that market moves immediately in that direction, you're going to lose money. And that's just the way it's set up. It's just like I compared it with buying a car. As soon as you buy a car brand new and you drive it off the lot, it's already lost money. So I think this market's getting pretty close to the top. You see, the other thing I was going to mention is there's so many different ways of trading, and what a lot of people do is when the market comes down here and they have put options, and then the market turns around and goes up, there's several ways to cover that. You stay with your put options, but you cover it with either buying call options if you want to do that. I don't do that, but you can day trade and day trade on the way up. And like I mentioned before, day trading could be a dangerous game unless you have experience. But there's ways of covering yourself. And these are the things that I'll be getting into, and I'll be making videos on how to do that. But for long-term traders that bought here and they're out for, maybe several months, and they're waiting for it to come down here, then you just keep your position. That's all you do. You don't really have to pay attention to anything I just said as far as covering yourself, because you're just going to ride this thing down. But like I said, I would actually convert those put options into later months if it's getting too close to your expiration date. So that's the only thing I would add on there. So let's take a look at what's going on with the Dow Jones. So Dow Jones is back into this balance area. It never really broke out. And the balance area was actually up in here, and I extended it because it did this little thing here. And so now it's a bigger balance area all the way back from October. And so eventually, like I said, it's going to break out, and when it does, it's going to go big. So how far this is going to go up, that I can't tell you. I mean, eventually it will break out. So NASDAQ. And NASDAQ's in the same situation. So I'm thinking it's either at its top or is like super close to its top, and it's ready to come down. This is Friday, so it might even start today or just all of next week and start coming down. And well, I mean, that's really it as far as that goes. So that's where we're at. Like I said, that's the way this game is played. The markets come up and they just kind of gyrate and they bounce around. That's like this one here, and it went up here. Probably freaked a lot of people out, thinking, well, maybe this market's going to start going back up, and it didn't. It went down. So this was a downtrend clearly, and the market came up here, and I think it's not so clear. At least to me, it seems like it's clear, but it might not be clear to other people that this is now starting another downtrend down to possibly here. So we'll see what happens. But that's where I have my money. Now, I'm going to go back to the ES. I'll go to a 5-minute chart. Now, if I'm going to trade options, of course, I'm going to trade them on the SPYs, not the ES, which actually piggybacks on the ES. It's pretty much the same chart. Let's see, I'll show you right here, SPYs. And the reason for that is because that's where I buy my options. I don't buy them on the ES, I buy them on the SPYs. So you can see this balance area right here. It's already poked through a little bit. And of course, these balance areas aren't 100%. They expand just according to the market, but they're pretty close. I would say they're pretty close to 90%, if not more. So back to the 5-minute. So I think this is pretty close to a top. This would have been a good area right here to possibly short. And of course, if you would have done that, you might have lost out. It depends on where your stop was, because it's gone beyond that. So I didn't short this because I'm waiting for this market to settle down. Ideally, it would be nice to go up here, come back down into this balance area, and then from there I would short this on a day trade. And that's what I might do today. But I'm waiting for this thing to settle down. Right now it's going kind of crazy here. But anyway, that's one way that you can cover your position. If you have a short position and this market's going the opposite way, that's one way to cover it. So, got a 15-minute chart. So the market keeps going up, and it's only at 42 points. So it really isn't a lot of points, meaning that the ES can travel 100 points, 120 in one day. So you can say this is halfway there, but at the same time, going to a 4-hour chart, you can say this is getting pretty long as far as from here to there, and plus it's already in that balance area, and it's starting to hit the top right here. And you can see, as far as drawing a trend line, that this is resistance. You can see how some markets hit the top here and bounced off, hit the top, hit the bottom here, and now it's pretty close to where this balance area is. You can move these things around. They're not, like I said, they're not 100% accurate, but they're close enough where you can put your money in. And so I'm thinking this is the top. If it's not and it starts poking through, eventually we're going to have a retracement that's going to come down, and it's probably going to be a pretty strong one because it's pretty long right here. Market doesn't take off for more than 2 or 3 days before it starts to retrace, unless it does these little moves here, and it's a strong move. This was a very strong move going up. So for me, I think momentum's going down. This thing is going to start turning around pretty soon. It's only 9 o'clock, so you still got plenty of hours of trading. So how far is this going to go up? We'll see. Okay, so for me personally, I'm going to be looking at the 5-minute chart, and I'm going to be looking for a retracement coming back into this area to possibly day trade this down. I would think that would be a really good day trade, only for a couple reasons. One, because this has gone pretty far without a retracement on a 5-minute chart, and even on the 4-minute chart, 4-hour chart, and it's already broken this resistance, which is okay, because as long as it doesn't continue, then that becomes support. I don't count this as support yet until I start watching this market. Now it starts breaking down into here, then of course I'll short it. And the other reason is it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. It's still very early. So the only reason why this can possibly go up is because it's only at, this is SPYs. Let's go to ES, which is pretty much the same thing. Because it's only at 43 points, so it could go a lot higher, technically. I don't think it's going to do that, so I'm just going to wait, and when it starts getting back into this little balance area, then I'm going to decide whether to short that in a day trade. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I already mentioned long-term trading and day trading, and I think that's it. I think I covered it. Not too much more to do. So this is Friday. we're gonna have to wait till see what happens during the day, and then I'll talk with you guys on Monday. In the meantime, I'll make some more videos on day trading options. That's one of them. I have a list of videos that I want to make, but that's one. Is those who want to day trade, you can day trade options, and I'll talk about how you can do that. I don't think I'm going to ever go into how you can day trade futures, because I think, you know, day trading futures is a whole different game, and that's how I started, and I still do that. But that's a very dangerous game, like I said, because with options and stocks, you could only lose as much as you put in. With futures, there's no limit to how much you can lose. You can just keep going, and I've heard of stories back then when I first started trading of people losing their houses and everything just because they were future traders and they didn't know when to stop, and the market just went the opposite way. It's a very dangerous game. In that game, you definitely have to put a stop in no matter what. A physical stop, not a mental stop, but a physical stop. And so I might get into that later, I'm not sure, but I don't want to encourage anybody into trading futures right now because there's so many opportunities to trade otherwise. You know, stocks and options. You can make a lot of money doing that. Okay, so that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys on Monday, and we'll see how many videos I can put out this weekend. And also, I'm going to start putting some links at the end of each video on whatever I talk about. Let's say trading options, and then I'll say you can click on this link, and it'll take you right into my video about day trading options. Yeah, so I'm going to start doing that probably this weekend. Okay, that's it. Talk to you guys later.